Hello and welcome to another Talking Music where every song has a story. My name's Paul, and on this channel we like to get behind the story of a song, come up with some secrets, some information, some facts about a well-known song. And today we're looking at Mungo Jerry and In the Summertime. The worldwide success of this song is quite remarkable actually, and I'd also like to add surprising too. Usually songs that really make their mark have a certain standout quality about them, either in the way they sound or the way they have been marketed, and usually both. In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry has neither. It wasn't state-of-the-art in its production, and its promotion was pretty much no different to many thousands of hit songs through the years. But this 3-minute, 40-second skiffle-based pop song had an astonishing chart success and went on to sell many millions around the world. The question is, why? Why this song? What was so special about it when it sounded much like any other pop song at the time? In the Summertime was the debut hit single for Mungo Jerry and was written and composed by the lead singer of the band, Ray Dorset. And it was recorded in April 1970 at Pi Studios in London and released on the New Dawn record label launched by the parent company Pi Records. The song was rather unusual for a single in that it was released as a maxi single, playing at 33 1/3 RPM, when singles would normally play at 45 RPM. This slower speed allowed for more than just one B-side because you could fit more actual music on the 7-inch vinyl. And In the Summertime was sold with a picture sleeve as well. Again, that wasn't usual for the time. So putting those two things together, it was seen as good value for money, I suppose. But surely this minor difference in marketing couldn't be responsible for it becoming one of the world's best ever selling singles. A small amount of singles were actually pressed at 45 RPM under the Pi record label for use in the UK in pub jukeboxes, which only played at 45. And if you have a copy of one of those singles, then it's worth something, as it's become a collector's item. In the Summertime was written in the summer of 1968 when Roy Dorset played music as a hobby. He worked for Timex, and his band Mungo Jerry were just in the process of getting started. Ray said the melody just popped into his head one day, going round and around, and the next day he penned lyrics for it. On listening to the song, the melody is instant, but it's either got no chorus or got no verse, because it's just a melody that goes around and around. The words are also simplistic, there's nothing wrong with that, but along with the melody, the lyrics conjure up a feel-good factor. You listen to the song, and suddenly it's a sunny day, and you're about to go out and have some fun. And that's what it's all about. Ray Dorset was 22 when he wrote it, and he had young people his age in mind, male particularly, when penning the lyrics. Driving a car, with the top down, the sun shining, cruising around. If you listen to the song, you certainly get that feeling. Maybe that was the magic that led to its amazing success, the teenage dream, with women on your mind. Mungo Jerry got a record deal with Dawn Records through Barry Murray, a producer at Pi, and also a friend of Ray's. With the title of In the Summertime and an obvious carefree sound and lyric of summer, it became a rush to get it out for the summer of 1970. It was released in the middle of May, and a couple of days later, Mungo Jerry played the Hollywood Music Festival taking place in Staffordshire in England to some 35,000 music fans in attendance, therefore giving the song a strong marketing push in the first week of release. Other bands playing at the festival included Black Sabbath, Free, Traffic, and the Grateful Dead. This gig was perfect for Mungo Jerry as they were new and had only just released their first song, and the afternoon was warm and sunny, with In the Summertime the perfect accompaniment. One of the great feel-good summer songs that has endured through the years on radio station and television playlists. Ray Dorset sang lead and played guitar, as well as a shaker instrument called a cabasa, which is a small percussion instrument, which gave the song a quasi-skiffle sound.
Acoustic guitar part is probably the most basic part to be played, because once you've got the rhythm going, you can sing, you can do the beatboxing. Da 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 da. Now you can play the song on any guitar, doesn't matter, it's expensive guitar, cheap guitar. It's all about creating the vibe and the groove. Doesn't matter how great you are, as long as you can go. Right, that's the chord of E that I'm playing like this on the acoustic guitar. Okay, and I'm creating the rhythm. And you notice that I'm tapping my foot, I'm using my left foot to give me an on beat. And I'm using my fingers, down strokes, using my fingernails, and the upstrokes using my thumbnail. All very simple, all very basic.
There are also some lyrics to the song which, though normal for the time, would be considered sensitive today when you hear them now. You feel, how could they have got away with that? Have a drink, have a drive, do a ton, or a ton and 25.
Just do what you feel, speed along the lane, do a ton or a ton of 25.
The sound effects in the song were also unusual. It was an actual bespoke recording of studio engineer Howard Barry's Triumph Spitfire as he drove past the studio. They just held a microphone out and he revved up the engine. Job done. They even recorded it in stereo so the sound could pan left and right. The band released a video of the song featuring Ray Dorset and his, what they called at the time, mutton chops, which were actually, believe it or not, very trendy. Paul King was on banjo, Colin Earle piano, and Mike Cole on bass. The video was used to promote the song in the US and across Europe, and the song itself was featured in a number of movies and TV series, including Wedding Crashers, The Simpsons, and Life on Mars. And it's also been used for advertising products on television as well. It's been a right little money earner for Ray Dorset. The song went to number 1 in 16 countries. That was just about every country it was released in all over Europe, and in New Zealand and Australia. But how did it do in the two major pop markets, the US and the UK? Well, in the UK chart, 13th of June 1970, that's the date it went to number 1. It was in at number 13 into the top 20, then number 1, and stayed there for 7 weeks. It ended up becoming the third bestseller of the year, with 350,000 record sales for 1970. The bestseller was Elvis and The Wonder of You. In the American Billboard Hot 100, it peaked at number 3 on September the 12th, 1970. Released as a 45 RPM in the USA. And it was Mungo Jerry's first, last, and therefore only gold hit in the USA. It sold 1 million there. It took 10 weeks to get to number 3 on the American charts, and that included a few weeks in the top 5 on the way up to number 3. And it ended up only being number 53 on the end-of-year Billboard Hot 100 for 1970. Simon & Garfunkel, A Bridge Over Troubled Water, was number 1. That's quite surprising, actually, when you look at the list of the world's best sellers of all time. Here is that list, and it's a dynamic list because it usually changes. Sometimes you see this list and it's got Bing Crosby at number 1 with White Christmas with 100 million record sales. Bearing in mind it was released in 1942, first time round. So those figures vary wildly for Bing Crosby. He's usually number 1 though. Number 2, established at number 2 now at 33 million, is Elton John and Candle in the Wind, 1997. And number 3, Silent Night, again Bing Crosby, around 31 million. But look, there's our song at number 4 with 30 million, ahead of some classics, all on around the 20 million mark. Whitney Houston, Elvis Presley, and USA for Africa. But that in the Summertime Mungo Jerry figure of 30 million is disputed. The other numbers there are not, but for Mungo Jerry, 30 million is disputed. And it kind of makes sense as well, doesn't it, really? Because the two principal charts, UK and USA, it only managed to sell around 1.4 million in those two major markets. Yes, it was number one in 16 countries in total, but even so, getting from 1.4 million to 30 million in smaller markets where 100,000 record sales marks a gold record would be very, very difficult. So it is placed at number 4, but I would say with a big question mark against it. Earlier I posed the question, why this song? What was so special about it so that it sold in phenomenal amounts? It was just a melody that went around and around, a car engine, a sound effect creating a false end in the middle of the song, which then appears to start from the beginning again. It even includes a certain non-politically correct lyric line, possibly 2 or 3 taking these days into account. But what it did have, I think, was timing. It was a feel-good song about getting out and having a good time, enjoying life while you can, with the sound of summer stamped all over it. Plus, and I think here comes the magic ingredient, it was released at the start of what was to become a hot summer, and the song and the summer just went hand in hand. And for those who went out and bought the song back in 1970, it was the summer, and they very probably look back on it now and say, hey, what a great summer it was too. That's Mungo Jerry in the summertime. And that's it for another Talking Music where every song has a story. Please subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free, of course. But if you do subscribe, you'll have access to many, many more videos like this featuring some of the world's best-known songs, where we come up with some secrets, facts, and information about the song. So please do subscribe. You can see the button appearing on the video now. And hopefully I'll catch you in the next video. So till then, look after yourselves. I wish you well. Bye-bye.